Why you should never mess with a Taurus, the power behind their calm. If you're thinking about crossing a Taurus, you might want to think again. They may appear calm, patient, and easygoing, but underneath it all lies a strength and determination you never want to test. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why it's a terrible idea to mess with a Taurus. These loyal, powerful individuals are not just stubborn, they're forces to be reckoned with. So, if you're ready to discover why a Taurus is one of the most formidable signs, stick around, because what you're about to hear could completely change the way you look at this zodiac sign. 1. Taurus strength and determination. Taurus is an earth sign, and that means they're grounded, practical, and incredibly steady. If you're ever lucky enough to have a Taurus on your side, you'll know they're the kind of person who will stand by you no matter what. They won't hesitate to work hard for the people they care about, and that loyalty can be absolutely unshakable. But don't mistake their calm exterior for weakness, because when a Taurus decides to put their mind to something, they're unstoppable. Let's break it down a bit more. Think of Taurus as the person who starts a project and doesn't stop until it's finished. No matter the obstacles, no matter the setbacks, a Taurus will keep pushing forward. Their ability to stay focused and persevere is one of their most powerful traits. Unlike other signs who might get distracted or give up when things get tough, a Taurus will keep going. They take pride in their ability to build something solid, and their determination is what makes them so formidable. It's not just a personality trait, it's in their nature. Take famous Taurus personalities, for instance. Beyoncé, David Beckham, and George Clooney. These are all Taurus people who have built their careers from the ground up. They didn't rely on anyone else to get to where they are. They faced challenges, but they never gave up, and they used their strength to overcome the hardest obstacles. They embody the Taurus determination that we're talking about here. But here's the thing, when a Taurus sets their mind to something, they're not only determined, but they're also incredibly patient. They might not make impulsive decisions, and they certainly don't rush. But when they finally act, they do so with the kind of strength that's impossible to ignore. It's that perfect mix of steady planning and unwavering determination that makes Taurus such a powerhouse. Messing with a Taurus? You're not just going up against someone who's stubborn, you're going up against someone who has the ability to outlast anyone. Whether it's a career goal, a personal project, or something they care deeply about, a Taurus doesn't back down until they've achieved what they set out to do. And when they succeed, it's a victory that was earned through grit and unwavering strength. So, remember, when you encounter a Taurus, you're dealing with someone who has more than just the will to succeed, they have the strength to carry them through anything. This is someone who will push forward no matter the challenge, and when they reach their goal, they'll be standing stronger than ever. Cross them, and you'll see firsthand just how strong that determination can be. 2. Taurus loyalty and the consequences of betrayal. A Taurus is one of the most loyal individuals you'll ever meet. When they commit to someone, whether it's a friend, partner, or colleague, they are all in. Loyalty is at the core of who they are. They'll stand by you through thick and thin, offering their support, trust, and unwavering dedication. If you ever find yourself in a tough situation, a Taurus will be the one you can rely on to have your back, no questions asked. But this loyalty comes with a condition: don't betray them. If you do, the consequences can be severe, and believe me, you won't see it coming. Taurus people are forgiving, but once trust is broken, they can't simply forget. They are known for having long memories, and if you hurt them or betray them in any way, they will remember it. Unlike some signs who might move on quickly, a Taurus takes betrayal very personally. They invest so much of themselves into the relationships they care about that when you betray them, it's like you've ripped a part of them out. The emotional damage isn't something they can easily shake off. The result of betraying a Taurus isn't just a brief fallout, it's often permanent. A Taurus won't forgive easily, and even if they do, the trust they once had in you will never be the same. They won't necessarily lash out at you, instead, they'll quietly distance themselves, and the bond you once shared will slowly fade away. In the end, you may lose a Taurus forever, not because they're angry, but because they no longer trust you. Think about it like this: a Taurus doesn't give their loyalty to just anyone. They choose carefully who they let into their inner circle, and once you've earned their trust, it's like a bond forged in steel. But once you betray them, it's like you've broken that steel bond. They will not let anyone back into their lives without being extremely cautious, and it's very hard to regain that trust once it's been lost. To give you an example, imagine a Taurus who's been friends with someone for years, someone they've always supported. But one day, that friend betrays their trust. Perhaps they lied or took advantage of their kindness. The Taurus will feel hurt and devastated. At first, they might try to forgive, but as time passes, the pain lingers, and they will quietly move away from that person. The friendship might not end with a dramatic argument, but it will end nonetheless. Once a Taurus feels betrayed, the damage is done. So, if you ever find yourself with a Taurus in your life, be mindful of how you treat them. Don't take advantage of their loyalty, and don't make the mistake of betraying them. Because when you do, you're not just losing a friend or a partner, you're losing someone who will never forget the wrong you've done, and someone who might just decide they don't need you in their life anymore. 3. The wrath of a Taurus. Don't push them too far. Now, let's talk about a side of Taurus that most people don't often see, their wrath. Taurus may be patient and calm, but don't mistake that for weakness. Taurus is an earth sign, and like the earth itself, they have a steady, grounding presence. They can weather storms without complaint, but when they're pushed too far, they can erupt with a force that's impossible to ignore. When a Taurus finally loses their patience, it's like an unstoppable force of nature. A Taurus is patient, but that doesn't mean they're a doormat. They don't tolerate mistreatment or disrespect, and once their patience runs out, they will act. And here's the thing, Taurus doesn't react impulsively. They give you multiple chances, they try to keep things under control, and they give you time to change your behavior. But if you keep pushing their buttons or testing their limits, eventually, a Taurus will make sure you know they've had enough. And when that happens, you'll regret ever crossing them. Imagine being around a Taurus who's usually kind and understanding. Maybe you push them too far, maybe you disrespect them, take advantage of their patience, or try to manipulate them. At first, they may remain calm, taking deep breaths, and trying to avoid confrontation. But when they've reached their breaking point, it's like a switch is flipped. And when a Taurus decides to act, they don't hold back. They'll confront you head-on, and they'll do so with a quiet intensity that's even more powerful than an outburst of anger. The anger of a Taurus isn't like the fiery rage of a fire sign, but it's something you definitely don't want to experience. They don't need to shout or scream to make their point. When a Taurus is angry, you feel it in their silence, their coldness, their stern words. It's a calm anger that's calculated and precise. They won't waste their energy on drama, but when they speak, they make sure every word counts. Their words can cut deep, and if they decide to end things with you, it will be done with finality and strength. There's no going back once a Taurus has made up their mind. So, why is it such a bad idea to push a Taurus too far? Because once they snap, they don't just forget what happened. They are practical, and they understand the value of cutting out toxic influences. If you push a Taurus to their limits, they will cut you off with no hesitation. And here's the kicker, they'll move on quickly, too. A Taurus has no problem leaving behind people who no longer serve a positive purpose in their life. They will find peace and stability elsewhere, and they will continue on their path, stronger than before. If you've ever witnessed a Taurus wrath, you'll know it's not something you ever want to experience. They don't yell, they don't engage in petty arguments. They simply make their stance clear, and they leave you with the consequences of your actions. It's a power move that's calculated and firm, and when they've decided to move on, you'll be the one left with regret. In summary, pushing a Taurus too far isn't just a bad idea, it's a guarantee that you'll lose their respect, and you'll lose them completely. When you mess with a Taurus, expect to face the consequences of their wrath. And trust me, you don't want to find out what happens when they decide they've had enough. 4. Taurus desire for stability and peace. Taurus is all about stability and peace. More than anything, they crave a sense of security in their lives, whether it's in their relationships, career, or personal space. They are creatures of comfort who love having a solid foundation under their feet. If you take a moment to understand a Taurus, you'll quickly realize they don't thrive on chaos. They prefer things to be predictable, steady, and calm. And once they find that balance, they will protect it with everything they have. What makes a Taurus stand out is their ability to create a sense of peace wherever they go. Their calm, grounded energy brings a sense of serenity to the people around them. They'll go out of their way to ensure that the people they care about feel comfortable, safe, and taken care of. They thrive in environments that promote harmony and tranquility. But here's the thing, if you disrupt their peace, you are messing with something they hold very dear. And trust me, a Taurus will not tolerate that. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you've upset a Taurus, you'll quickly learn that they won't react with drama. Instead, they'll quietly distance themselves and retreat into their own world. Taurus doesn't engage in unnecessary conflicts. They value peace so much that when something disrupts it, they simply remove themselves from the situation. It's not that they're avoiding confrontation, it's that they're taking control of their environment to preserve their inner peace. Let's imagine a situation where you're constantly testing a Taurus limits. Maybe you're stirring up drama, creating unnecessary tension, or causing emotional chaos around them. At first, the Taurus may try to ignore it or calmly ask for things to settle down. But if the chaos continues, they will pull away. They won't argue, they won't fight, they'll just let go. And when that happens, you'll find that the Taurus has found peace somewhere else. They'll focus on their work, their hobbies, their relationships, and their self-care. It's a peaceful escape, and it's their way of taking control of their environment. When a Taurus removes themselves from the situation, don't be fooled into thinking they're weak or that they're letting things slide. No, they are simply prioritizing what's most important to them: stability, peace, and balance. And once they've made that decision, there's no coming back until things calm down. If you continue to bring chaos into their life, they'll have no problem leaving you behind and finding peace elsewhere. So, in the end, messing with a Taurus means disrupting the very thing they hold most dear: inner peace. And when that happens, don't expect them to stick around for the aftermath. A Taurus will quietly walk away and leave you to deal with the mess. 5. Taurus fierce independence. One of the most remarkable traits of a Taurus is their fierce independence. Taurus people don't rely on others to build their future. They are self-sufficient, hardworking, and capable of achieving anything they set their minds to. They don't need anyone to validate their decisions or tell them what to do. They know exactly who they are and what they want from life. This fierce independence is what makes Taurus one of the most formidable signs in the zodiac. Unlike some signs that might look for external support or approval, Taurus prefers to carve their own path. They are perfectly content working alone, making decisions for themselves, and ensuring their success without any help from the outside world. In fact, they tend to shy away from being told what to do. If you try to control a Taurus or manipulate their decisions, you're in for a rude awakening. They don't tolerate being controlled. Taurus is strong-willed, and they are perfectly capable of standing on their own 2 feet. They don't feel the need to answer to anyone but themselves. This independence gives them the freedom to live life on their own terms, and they're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. They don't care about what others think. What matters is that they are content with their own choices. And because of this, Taurus never feels pressure to fit in with the crowd or follow anyone else's rules. Take a moment to think about a Taurus in your life who has built their career or achieved personal goals entirely on their own. They didn't ask for permission, they didn't wait for a sign, and they didn't rely on anyone's approval. They just did it. And that's the beauty of Taurus independence. They don't need validation from others because they know their own worth. When they make decisions, they trust their instincts and don't let outside influences sway them. This fierce independence is what makes Taurus so resilient. No matter what happens, they will find a way to keep going, alone if necessary. If you ever try to limit a Taurus or tell them they can't do something, you're only setting yourself up for failure. A Taurus will prove you wrong and do it on their own terms. The moral of the story: never underestimate a Taurus' ability to stand alone and succeed. In conclusion, messing with a Taurus is never a good idea. Their strength, loyalty, wrath, desire for peace, and fierce independence make them one of the most powerful signs in the zodiac. If you challenge a Taurus, be prepared to face the consequences of their unwavering determination and unshakable sense of self. They value loyalty and peace, but once those are disrupted, they will not hesitate to walk away. And above all, never forget that a Taurus is fiercely independent. No one tells them what to do. So, if you're ever tempted to cross a Taurus, just remember, they're not the ones you want to mess with.